Marriage, prison wine, and dirty bananas. This week on Jim Joe Steve Show.
Here's a story about 20 years ago. Three bros who grew up in Baltimore to the beach show. Every summer they had to go before they got married with kids. Now they all grown. Long trips to New York and Toronto. Playing beer pong with Captain Morgan's. Free throws. And if you don't know, now you know. Coming in hot. Jim Joe Steve Show.
Hello and welcome back to more Jim Joe Steve Show. My name's Joe.
I'm Jim.
And I would be Steve.
And we are back for another episode where we talk into a microphone and hope good things come through your ears.
Yes. This week's a big week.
Tell me why.
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez got married.
So Ben is off the market for Steve.
No.
How does that make you feel?
Well,
There's still hope.
Even more.
They've broken up once
We're
before.
both married now. We're both married, so we could hang out and be boys. So
I thought you meant you
dates.
could slide into his DMs now.
Oh, no. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to be friends with him. I don't know if you guys noticed that I started following a whole bunch of Bennifer accounts where they keep posting pictures of them together. Stuff like that.
Did you see the post that I made on that black and white picture? There's like a black and white picture.
I did. Yep.
And I'm telling you.
And it does kind of look like you.
I think it looks like me.
Well, maybe that's why we're friends. So that I can,
in certain angles, Joe.
There's certain angles and certain lights.
That's why you look at me like that.
But I do want to thank you guys that you wanted to. I don't know. I actually don't know anything about their wedding except that they got married. That's all I really know.
I think it was like a drive-through little wedding chapel in Vegas. Like it wasn't even a big thing. I think.
Oh,
it was
really?
Yeah.
I mean, they had wedding dresses and tuxedos.
Yeah. I mean,
You can still do that.
I think you can get those at that wedding chapel in Vegas.
Yeah, probably.
Or
But there's no back. It just velcros to the back of your shirt so they can take pictures of the front.
I mean, this is her fourth or fifth wedding. She might just carry a wedding dress around with her at all times.
That is true. That is true. I heard in Vegas now those chapels, like you can't get married from Elvis anymore.
I did hear that.
Oh,
and
really?
It's such a weird.
Like
the state from Elvis
the
complained or
estate,
something?
Elvis's estate is tired of people dressing up like Elvis and marrying people, so they put the kibosh on it.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, what if your name is actually Elvis?
Well, as long as you don't dress up like a hound dog, you'd be
As long as you don't wear your blue suede shoes.
Speaking of blue suede shoes, our guest last week, Jason Butcher, did reach out, and I will say he had a fun time. He messaged us. I don't know if you guys probably didn't get it, but he said, "Good times last night. Thanks for the invite," and he would love to do it again. So he said
absolutely.
that this was the best interview that he's ever had.
So how did we parlay blue suede shoes into that?
Because it was a smooth transition.
Because that's what I do.
I you know what? It went right into it. So
It was about as smooth as this drink that you made us, Joe.
Yeah.
We tell the listeners the drink that you just made up.
So I was at JoJo's or Trader Joe's today, and I saw.
do you call it JoJo's?
I do.
Why?
Because
I
Joe's
don't-
and Joe's.
I don't know. I just call it JoJo's. Anyway, so I saw this. I was in the checking out aisle, and right behind me there was this big display for watermelon cucumber cocktail juice.
Is it
And
cocktail juice or just juice?
I think it says it's I don't know.
It looks like
It
an
says
ocean
watermelon.
spray.
It says like watermelon. Yeah, but like cranberry. I don't know. I think it says watermelon cucumber cocktail.
Okay.
And I was like, this would mix really well, and I bet Steve would actually like this.
It is very delicious.
So mixing up a little vodka for Steve and Jim, and they seem to be enjoying something they have to drink that I've provided for the first time ever.
It doesn't have a sticker on the labels.
You know who would be really
will
proud
next week.
of your watermelon cucumber vodka drink? Flim. He'd be so happy that that's what you're drinking.
Oh,
right now.
really?
Yeah.
Good old Flim.
I always Trader Joe's. Of course we live in Maryland.
I mean
JoJo's. We live in Maryland, and they can't. Trader Joe's sells alcohol
in other states. Yeah, that's where
states.
$2 Chuck comes from.
I always. What's $2 Chuck?
Well, it might be
Chuck,
$3
it's $2
now, but it's Charles Shaw.
Inflation.
It's
wine.
It's their brand of wine, and it's pretty good. I mean, I used back when I lived with Jim and I was going down to Virginia for work. Sometimes I would buy a case of it, and the cab it's pretty good. And it's super cheap.
I feel like we miss out so much on the fact that
we do 100%.
Because Ocean City in Maryland, you can buy beer.
Yeah, there's a couple random counties that you can.
Yeah, but I always whenever we go on a trip or we go somewhere, and then the fact that like the CVS sells alcohol or like a grocery store sells alcohol, I get so excited. It's like Christmas when I walk into it.
I actually don't know how that works because the grocery store that you guys pass when you come here, Angels on the right hand side, they sell beer, wine, and liquor in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe they have. There is a Royal Farms around where I live that sells alcohol, and the reason that they do it is because they fall under like a certain precedence. Like that building has been there so long that it was legal at the time or something weird.
They have old license.
Yeah, they have some weird old license. So.
Back in the day, my parents now live in West Virginia, but before we would just go up there in Petersburg. It's not a developed town too much, but back in the day, 15 years ago, it really
was super developed.
Right. The directions were go to the Pizza Hut. So I mean, it literally had one stoplight. Anyway, but there was always a 7-Eleven there, and that 7-Eleven had a section that was walled off.
Oh yeah, with it was like clear.
Yeah, clear glass. Halfway up, and it sold moonshine.
Oh really?
Like actual moonshine, not like the moonshine that you can get today, but like I don't know, like some dude that
right.
had his moonshine
like made by Cletus.
Right, in actual moonshine bottles and shit. And I always thought that was the weirdest thing. You go into 7-Eleven and.
Aren't moonshine bottles like mason jars?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they put it in? Yeah.
Whenever somebody that has actual moonshine, when they have it, they all say the same thing. They're like, don't drink too much of that. You'll go blind.
And
they all, every
or
single...
Or hallucinate,
Yeah.
I've had real moonshine once in my life, and I didn't even drink the moonshine. My buddy Tex, whose house was like the party house in high school or senior year, because his parents liked to party with us, and looking back on it, a little weird, but that's where that's where he hung out. They let us drink and stuff, and his uncle was like, I think it was his uncle. Somebody was like, "Here, try this," and it was a strawberry that had been soaking in moonshine, and so I ate the strawberry and immediately threw up. That stuff was terrible. Like yeah, it was so bad.
But now they make it, they put cinnamon, like a cinnamon stick in it. It's like the apple cinnamon flavor, which is really good. My dad gave me some.
But is it real moonshine?
Yeah. My there's a guy that lives on my dad's mountain that makes it.
Oh, yeah?
And he mason jars with the cinnamon stick.
Now, isn't it still illegal to make, though?
It's not illegal to make, but it was, from my understanding, it was only illegal because they didn't go through the proper channels to be taxed by the government.
Oh, so he's going through the proper channels?
I don't know that either.
Would you ever drink toilet wine?
If I went to prison, maybe.
Does it actually have urine in it?
No, they just make it in the toilet.
Do they make it in a bag in the toilet?
Yeah.
So it's not actually touching toilet?
The bag is, but yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. If any listeners have toilet wine, we'd like to try it. We'd like to have a taste test.
You could call us at...
If any of our listeners have been to prison, we love a good prison story.
I love prison shows.
They're the best. Well, I love... prison shows or prison stories?
Well, I mean, usually the shows tell prison stories.
Yeah, but fact or fiction.
Oh no, like Locked Up.
Okay.
Or, I always like the ones where
Steve
it shows
Scared Straight,
like where they talk about
where they yell at little kids,
where they tell what it's like to live in prison. I love.
Have you ever watched Locked Up Abroad?
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew somebody that their cousin was on that.
Because they got locked up
abroad.
Because they got
locked up abroad. Yeah.
What country?
I don't remember any of the details.
Because it's never like
Isn't it just
I was
one
locked
country abroad.
I think it was like Mexico or something like that, like trafficking drugs or something. I tricked into
it's never like I was locked up in England. It was like I was locked up in this cartel run town in Guatemala.
Right. Well, that's
like Guatemala is a town.
That's when you get locked up if you don't have the money to pay them.
Right.
Then you get locked up, and then it's the worst.
What would possess you to be like, I'm going to go to some random town in Guatemala? Like
money.
Guatemala is a town. That was my mistake. Guatemala's a town in Mexico.
But well, I just always think about like when you go, if you went to like when I go on vacation, I don't think about going.
You weren't filling balloons full of drugs.
Well, I don't go to places that
Stephen
could
the Mule.
possibly happen. I go to like Sandals.
Yeah, but
Nobody's trying to traffic cocaine out of sandals.
sandals in Mexico isn't probably as safe as it used to be.
Probably not, but I just always I knew somebody that went to Chile and drove Chile and then rented a Jeep and drove up to
The Chilean
drove up
mountains.
the coast.
Patagonia.
I think it was Chile. That's the one on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the long
It's
skinny.
it's on the corner.
The western
I mean, it's
shore.
on the side, and it's the long skinny
Make
one.
a left at Brazil.
Every listener knew exactly what I was talking about.
Did you-
I'm just giving you some shit.
So most delicious fish out there, maybe you agree, maybe you don't, the Chilean sea bass was previously called the Patagonian toothfish, and no one bought it because it had a shitty name. And they changed the name from Patagonian toothfish to Chilean sea bass and started selling like hotcakes.
Really?
Like it starts sounding like Chilean sea bass.
Like Chilean sea bass.
Well, you know the story of lobsters, right?
Oh yeah, they were like a trash food. They gave them to prisoners.
They gave them to prisoners,
yeah.
and then they had
right back to prison stories.
so many of them that
If you
they
have
just
been to
remarketed
prison,
And
call us and
if you've
come
been to
and be
prison and you're eating lobster,
where are my khakis?
is that your go-to Boston saying?
Yeah.
I got really good at a Boston accent because I work with a guy, Chad. Shout out to Chad. Just started listening.
Chad who?
Chad T.
Oh, good
Chad,
old
we got
Chad too.
35 episodes, so go back and listen to them all.
Just start from the
Oh
beginning,
man,
Chadwick.
you got 15 hours of Jim Joe Steve show to catch up on.
But he's he's standard, angry at the world Bostonian.
Okay.
And we worked together for 5-ish years.
He would be happy with that description.
He's self-aware.
He's already pissed off at that description. That's how angry he is.
Right. But yes, and he had a pretty decent Boston accent. It's worn a bit because he's been here for a really long time. But I got pretty good at it, just doing it every day. Because
you're making fun of him every day.
Initially, and then that just became how I started talking to him. From Boston.
There's certain words you can say if you say them together, like certain phrases, that'll make you have a Boston accent. And I wish.
Pack
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah, when you say khakis, like your pants khakis, they're the car keys.
Yeah.
Get my khakis.
Have you
It's the only thing I know.
But going back to vacations, these crappy vacations. I don't know where I'm trying to go
What are you
with
getting
this.
at, buddy?
Like where's the shittiest place we'd be willing to go?
Yeah, like would you go to
Australia.
Would you
I would absolutely. That's not a shitty place.
It's hot as hell and everything kills you.
So does.
Did you ever see it in
So
Australia?
does Baltimore.
Right.
I know. Do you ever look at those things online where they'll say like the city that will most murders or have the most rats, or
We always rank way up
we
there.
are always in the top 5. Baltimore
Number
is
one in
always
like crabs, STD.
Murders and
Like
rats.
we are. Yeah, we're the number one crab
were-
state.
Heron.
we were number 4 in most rats.
Oh, there's a rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up.
Yeah, I mean, you lived in the city for a long time, so
did.
you used to see rats all the time. And
When you came in through the front door of my house, it was on the first floor, but the back door of the first floor was slightly above it. It was like a half a floor above, and so I had a window that sat up from the ground out back, and I always had rats running through my yard and stuff. And so, they were always like chewing shit up and just wrecking things. And so I got a pellet gun, and I would take a paper towel and put on some spaghetti sauce and stick it in the microwave so it would get warm and fragrant. And I would sit it out back. I would turn off the lights and open up the window with my pellet gun and just start picking off rats that came to get the spaghetti sauce.
like the professional, no women, no kids.
No women, no children.
No women, no kids.
My buddy Jackie that I grew up with, he and I his dad had that movie. This is a word you guys haven't heard in a long time, on Laserdisc.
Wow.
Do you remember those?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They were the future.
They were,
Until they weren't.
right. Yeah, I don't think they ever caught on.
Do you know the first movie you watched on DVD?
No.
I know the very first movie I ever watched on DVD because we couldn't figure out how to watch it to where the sound wouldn't work, and we kept rewinding it, and it would go to, because remember with DVD players, like you could skip the track and it would take you back to a certain section, or you could just rewind
like a chapter.
Yeah. We could not figure it out, and it was the first Blade.
Oh man, what a terrible movie!
Is that Wesley Snipes?
Yes, Wesley
Good
Snipes.
old Wesley
God,
Snipes.
all of your Essex friends are going to be so angry. I just called that a terrible movie.
Do you know why you were watching on DVD and not Laserdisc?
Because Laserdisc died.
But do you know why?
No.
Was it like a Sony thing, like they did with the VHS
No.
and the Betamax?
It was the porn industry. They have such weight in deciding what format. And the porn industry, when the DVD and the Laserdisc were kind of battling out in the beginning,
They were like, it's going to be a lot cheaper to ship a DVD than a
right? And the porn
Laserdisc.
industry went to DVD, and that crushed the Laserdisc.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they were massive. They were the size of records.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
were huge.
absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah, that's a thing that'll never come back.
mean, discs in general.
Laser discs. Yeah,
I don't
guess
know. I mean, LPs are coming back, right?
yeah, maybe.
So
But
in a nostalgia
well-
kind of way.
Well, records come back because they offer a different sound. CDs
Sure.
provide a digital sound that you can get by downloading it or whatever.
Right,
I mean,
right.
when Jason brought us CDs last week, I'm the only one with a CD player in my car.
that's true.
There's no reason, and tapes, cassette tapes have started coming back also because they also add that like tingy sound.
no,
Like,
people are buying cassette tapes.
oh yeah, like punk bands and stuff have started releasing music on cassette tapes and stuff again.
You get a free incense with the scent of patchouli with every tape. that
by
you buy.
Urban Outfitters.
I used to light incense when you and I lived
I
together in
know.
our house.
His bedroom smelled of dampness, body hair, and patchouli. Like that. That's what his bedroom smelled
That's because
like.
I was trying to mask the fart smell pouring down the stairs.
That's probably true.
You walk down the steps and you'd smell incense, and you're like, Joe must have been
Fucking
eating
Joe.
beans.
No, his
no,
fart
he's saying
smells.
me.
All right.
I was like, oh man, Jim had a tablespoon of milk.
that was,
He ate
that
a
was
slice
before
of
I
pizza.
self-diagnosed myself as lactose intolerant.
I always like that Jim always reminds us that he's lactose intolerant, like we don't know. Well,
Right.
no, I guess the other week when we recorded with Jason, Joe asked if we wanted a pizza. Because we were recording earlier, and he said
It was like
that we
dinner
get a
time.
And Jim was like, I can't eat pizza. I'm lactose intolerant. It's
I-
like he's
I
like
didn't
he's a
say-
vegan.
I didn't say I'm lactose intolerant. I just said I can't eat pizza, which I can, but it would be bad for you guys if I ate pizza.
Have you given gluten free a shot? Do you have celiac?
I don't even know what like
You
that
should,
really
because
is.
we always have Joe always has gas, and you guys could be like dueling banjos.
Yeah, mine are audible though. They're generally not smelly.
I eat clean, except for that cookie that you fucking made me.
And it was
eat.
delicious, wasn't it?
It was. I won't eat another
You
one.
got that from JoJo's.
No, I got those from Costco's.
Oh, Costco's. Is it with an S?
No.
Oh man, I love that. I went the other day. I had to get deodorant from Target, and I couldn't.
We're just gonna pluralize
and
everything.
yeah, and they didn't have it. So I went to Walmart's.
If Walmart's didn't have it, where are you gonna go?
I know.
Safeways.
CVS's.
Yeah.
God, this is so stupid. We haven't done just a dumbass episode.
Normally
in a
that's
long
episode
time.
3 is
Right.
when we get really stupid.
Right.
Great. I can't wait till episode 2 coming out next week. Stay tuned.
You came from the beach, right?
I did. I drove.
Oh yeah.
think that-
Thank you for celebrating Bennifer happening and driving all the way from the beach.
Oh,
I mean, we had to get this pod out to talk about it.
moreover, it's my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, I
today.
know. I was gonna say that.
And I drove 3 hours
that must
to my house to get a couple things to take back, and then an hour down here. So I drove 4 hours on my daughter's birthday to do this podcast.
You're a treasure.
Like, sorry, babe, Dad's got to go.
How was
Bye-bye.
your 7th birthday? Well, eighth birthday. You know, my brother and my mom were there.
We did a whole.
My dad went to go get milk.
No, he didn't. He's lactose intolerant.
We did a whole thing. Like we had a huge party like last week for it. Like bounce houses, water slides, piñatas. There's 60 some people at my house. And so we let them know, hey, this is
Shooting range.
so
Opium
But
den.
kids don't care. They're like, yeah, that was last week.
Yeah,
Today's my birthday.
birthday.
So what are we doing? So we woke up. We went to in Ocean City, Maryland. For anybody who's not listening to Maryland, we went to Layton's, which is kind of like a cool little breakfast spot. They get the rainbow pancakes. Then Izzy, my daughter, said, let's just go down the boardwalk and maybe play a couple games.
There you
Ride
go.
some rides, you know.
Eat some fries.
So we never get fries.
You never get the boardwalk fries?
No carbs.
He's like, that's what a tourist is.
I ain't waiting in
no
a fucking
carbs.
line.
Nobody eats ice cream.
The kids do.
Do you have OC local sticker on your
Oh
car?
no, Fenwick local. No, I don't need stickers on my truck. Are you crazy? No. Anyways,
No, he's already got that raptor talon sticker
Yeah,
on the
I know,
side of his
I know.
truck.
He's got
a huge sticker
it's
on
not a
it.
raptor.
It's not.
No,
Why is
The
the
Roush.
raptor's eyes coming through the scratch?
It's the Raptor Roush edition.
no, it's not.
It's just an F-150 Roush?
Yes,
Then why do you have raptor talons scraped up against the
I
side?
don't.
What talons are scratching up your car?
That is, I'm assuming like grip tape, fake mud splashes. I don't know what the hell it is really on the side of the truck.
Oh, that's right. That's really not a
No,
raptor?
No, it's just
Oh, okay.
a F-150 Roush special edition. Anyway, what was I saying?
Daughter's birthday boardwalk.
He got that from Bob Bell's.
Bob Bell's Ford. Shout out Bob Bell.
You can shout out fucking Bob Bell.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck Bob Bell.
Give us a call, Jones Toyota.
So we were walking down the boardwalk after we we go into 100 shops, and all the shops are the same. She's looking for, I don't even know what she's looking for. That's what
They
says something or
this
another.
year every store says I love MILFs. I love
They do.
Bills.
I love milk. Hot dad bod summer. Like it's all weird stuff. And then Hellfire Club.
What's Hellfire Club?
From
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Oh.
So there's like the two, whatever. So we go to Fun City and we spend money there. Then we're going and so we walk past, and this relates to you, Joe. So we walk past the old time photos, and I'm sure this is at every touristy spot. I can't imagine it's just at Ocean City.
No. They have them everywhere.
Okay, I figured as much. So we walk past the old time photos, and my daughter's like, "Hey, can we get old time photos?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not! I will never get old time photos." And then my wife reminded
You'll
me,
never get old time photos again.
again. My wife reminded me that we did do old time photos one time,
Did you for real?
I've always been against old time for no reason other than I think I was just too cool to do old time photos. Now I think I'm just
Drew
too
your line in the sand,
Right.
and you're just not crossing it.
now I'm just too old to do old time photos. Maybe not, but anyway.
Well,
So
because at this point they're just called photos.
right. Like you can take photos on your phone. I'm not doing. But anyway, so I was like, "Did we do old time photos?" She's like, "Yeah, remember with Joe?" And I said, "Joe, holy shit, we did." We went down one time, and you wanted to do old time photos because I know it wasn't my idea, and my wife already knew that I wouldn't do old time photos, so it had to be your idea to do old time photos.
Potentially.
But so you were down with one of your old girlfriends. Can I say her name or?
Yeah.
Okay, Katrina. And I guess you were serious. I can't remember that far back. And I was like, no.
I mean, he took her to Ocean City.
That's true. So
You went down the ocean.
so we all do these
A
old time
service.
photos, and I don't know. Somebody's got a Tommy gun in their hand, and somebody's like,
I think that was me with the Tommy gun.
somebody's got like
Bag of money.
an old school. What do you call it? A prostitute, I guess.
Right.
I
I
don't
think
even-
Nicole had like a garter belt on with money in it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it's like black and white with orange
I think
tinge.
it's sepia tone. Haven't
Sepia
you
tone.
taken a million photography classes? You should know what that is.
I can do it. I don't know it. You know, like I can't give you the verbals. I just know how to do it. So, and then I remember like 2 weeks later, my wife was pissed at me for allowing you in the photo because she finally got me to do one, I guess, or like, and you broke up with Katrina and we couldn't hang up the photo because it was your ex-girlfriend in the photo.
You know what? Hang him up. Hang him up.
Just how did so? Do you have to? So you get like one shot when you take an old time photo.
Pretty sure it was
Yeah,
one
I
shot.
mean, I don't
there
know how it
wasn't
is, but it was. You get like one main shot.
Yeah, we didn't
you
break
know.
up into individuals.
I'm sure you could, but we were poor 20-year-olds. I don't know.
And if we did break up into just like couples, it just would have been me and Jim.
Do they hold the little thing up and it flashes and the powder goes?
Like old school
We're
flash.
old time. Everything behind the camera
It's all
is
digital.
it's new.
Oh, all right.
equipment.
I didn't know if they like made it look
Like Back to the Future 3.
Yes. That is the perfect gift. Like you can always hide in your back pocket. Like whenever you need to
Spice it up, or
not spice it up, but you need to think of a gift, and you can say, you know,
hey baby, come with me.
let's go get
I got a
old. You know
surprise.
how much I hate it. You know how much I don't like it. But for you and to show my appreciation for you, let's go get some old time.
You know,
I'll go put on that pinstripe suit and hold a Tommy gun.
You know, it'd be even better is if he gets
Boss Skaggs in it.
if he gets back to the beach tomorrow, and Izzy's like, "Daddy, since you missed my birthday last night,
I didn't miss her birthday.
old timey
dude.
photos."
I'm gonna text Nicole.
I was thinking about doing that too. I was thinking, like, should I say this or should
My
I just
day
do
was
it?
nonstop from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. when I left the beach, drove straight to my house, got my son's Lucky Charms Crocs, and got them out of the mailbox because it was overflowing, and drove here.
Yeah.
It was nonstop.
I mean, it would have only been 2.5 hours if you had just come right here.
But I didn't because I needed to do other things.
Because you needed to pick up some Crocs.
And I still wasn't late. Steve, what's your excuse today?
I told you what time I was getting here. I was only 7 minutes late after that.
So you don't get fries on the boardwalk. What's the boardwalk snack? I mean, fries are. Oh, and remember that stuff Dylan used to love, the Polish water ice?
Get your free sample Polish water ice. It used to be a recording on a loop.
Cherry, blue raspberry, watermelon, chocolate, and a lot more. It was voted the best on the boardwalk. There's no dairy, no fat, no cholesterol. Don't pass up your free sample.
Do you know on the boardwalk? There used to be a Chinese food place called Boardwalk. And,
Get out of here.
And I would always go get an egg roll there because I was like, you know what? I need this fucking place to stay in business because it was such a good.
That's
not
how I'm
there
keeping
now.
this bitch open by buying an egg roll.
Once
But,
a year.
Hey, you ever know that if 1 million people gave you $1, you would have $1 million? So if
that was your approach.
If 1 million people buy egg
We
rolls,
should set up a
because
GoFundMe.
it's a good name. It's a good name, Boardwalk, and then.
It's a hell of a name.
I know. It's a boardwalk fries now. Do you know what else I don't like?
What don't you like, Steven?
No,
Is it a word?
On the boardwalk, the ice cream place.
Polish water ice.
No, so dumpsters.
Oh,
I don't like.
yeah.
I don't like the name of it
Because it sounds like dumpsters.
and I'd rather it just be called dumpsters instead of dumpsters.
And it's the ice cream place that just dumps everything on it.
Yeah.
well, I'm pretty sure it's some dude's last name.
Last time I went to the beach, and I'm so stupid and oblivious sometimes about things. When we went to the beach, I was like, you know what? They have a banana milkshake there, and I don't like milkshakes. Jim
Or bananas.
Jim doesn't eat milkshakes.
You don't like
drinks
milkshakes?
because he's lactose intolerant.
That's like my number one seed dessert
So
is a milkshake.
well, no,
Really?
no, I
Oh,
do
yeah.
like I do. Well, I
That's
do
true.
like.
The Canadian trip.
Oh yeah, I do like milkshakes. They have a banana milkshake, which is the best thing I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh.
And I was just there, and I was like, okay. So when we went to the beach, I was like, well, we have to go to Dumpsters by Secrets because they have the banana milkshake, and there's no other dumpsters in the beach.
There's not. I thought isn't there a couple of them, or there's only the one.
So there's about 9 billion of them.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
a fucking
okay.
idiot, and I don't pay attention to things, so I just walk around, and it just.
Yeah.
And
dumpsters is like an Ocean City staple.
Yeah. So the last time I was at the beach, well we recorded down there. I got the milkshake and it holds up, and then I got probably my daughter wouldn't walk around the boardwalk with me once I got this. I got a frozen chocolate covered banana.
Dude, they are so good, but there's no right way to eat them. You can't eat a chocolate covered banana.
I am just eating that thing walking down the boardwalk.
Throating that son of a bitch.
I've never had one of those.
They're really good.
They unfortunately are
Is
really
that all it is? It's a banana dipped in chocolate,
and it's cold. So
yeah,
of course
it's like frozen. So,
but holding a chocolate banana
right
on a stick,
and then
there's no way to eat
tickling
it
your
without
uvula with
being sexual with it.
and I'm trying to take big bites. So, and then we were sitting there, and then people kept coming up to me asking me where I got that and I felt like everybody was making fucking fun of me. Some guy came up, tapped me on the shoulder, and I was like, yeah. I was like, oh. He's like, where'd you get that chocolate covered banana? And I was like, oh, right over there. And then I was like, and then he walked away, and
he didn't go over there.
I wanted to follow him to make sure that he went there, because I did feel like he was making fun of me. So I don't know, but there were 3 or 4 people asked me where I got.
They are delicious.
They had to be busting my balls, and then a couple young kids asked me, and I knew they were making fun of me. They had to be making fun of me. And then when I walked away, they were like, his kicks were clean.
They were fire.
I said, thank you, sir.
Does clean mean cool now?
I don't know.
I take it as cool.
Yeah, I took it as cool. Because then I was like strutting around with my clean shoes, eating
his dirty banana.
Eating my dirty banana.
It would have been awesome if like your shoes are clean. You'd be like, yeah, you know what? I washed them yesterday.
I'm gonna say it for the 3rd time. If you have prison stories, please get in touch with the show at Jim Joe Steve on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Leave us a voicemail at 856 the JJSS.
You can now text that number.
Yes, you can text that number. And God damn it, I used to love watching Oz. I watch all those things. I want somebody that's been to prison on the episode. I would love to interview.
He will eat a chocolate banana out of your hand.
Katie's sister and older sister and brother-in-law have both been arrested before, both for minor things. I think Amy was in Ocean City and she was like drunk and jaywalked, and they popped her for being drunk in public. And then Jamie, I think, peed in public in Baltimore City, like after an Orioles game, which I think we've all done.
You can get be on a sex offender
red
list for that shit.
Yeah, but he had to spend like the weekend in jail because he peed in public. Anyway, Joey knew those things, and he thinks it's the greatest thing in the world that Amy and Jamie have been in jail. And so one day he asks me,
setting that kid up for success, aren't you?
Right. One day he asks me, like, the greatest thing, like, it's funny.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
So one day he asked me, he was like, so what's so bad about jail? I was like, well, you can't.
Rape.
I didn't get into Oz.
Oh yeah.
I said, well,
Out of BC.
I was like, you're not allowed to like do anything that you want to do. Like, you've got to do everything that everybody else tells you to do on their schedule, and maybe you can't go outside a lot or get exercise, and you have to eat like crappy food or whatever. He's like, well, why don't you just like bring your own food or your own like games and stuff in with you? And I was like, well, you can't. They make you like give all your stuff, and they give you clothes to wear. He was like, well, what if you just hide it? I was like, you can't hide it. Like, they take everything away from you, and they like look on you and make sure you don't have anything. He was like, well, like, you could like hide it somewhere. I was like, Joey, they look everywhere. Like, they look in your butt. And me telling him that turned into when Aunt Amy went to jail, they looked in her butt. And that got back to her as that's how I told him that story. And they were 2 completely different things, and it got merged into one. And
I wouldn't want the TV to be all the way up and real high up. That would suck.
Why?
You can watch it what you want. I like to be close to the TV.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm not
prison. Things I don't like in prison. Then rape.
So it would be the TV being too high for you, and then Rid, like that in that order.
1A and 1B.
All right, guys. Well, follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at
Jim Joe Steve.
Give us a call, leave us a voicemail, tell us your prison stories or your chocolate banana stories or your chocolate banana in prison stories at
856 the JJSS.
And for the Jim Joe Steve Show, my name is Joe.
I'm Jim.
And I would be Steve.
And we'll talk to you next week.